children, welcome to the third class of Valediction Forbidding Morning, a poem by John Donne. So last class we have seen how the poet was associating love with various images that we have never thought before. We saw the images of death, we saw images of flood, tempest, trepidation of spears, and sublunary, another term which is associated with celestial space. And today we are going to see the world famous metaphysical conceit, how he is associating lovers with the two legs of a compass. Come on, let's get into the poem. Yes, let's continue. But we by a love so much refined, that ourselves know not what it is, inter-assured of the mind, careless eyes, lips, and hands to miss. So now we can see Donne returns to his own love relationship, and he speaks of himself and his wife as we. So earlier paragraphs we saw his usage of death, his reference to floods, tempest, his reference to earthquakes, trepidation of the spheres, sublunary, all those things, right? Which were really contradictory things if we are speaking about love. And so here Donne is first time he's speaking, is telling we. He's using we to speak about himself and his wife. And he says, their love is so much refined. Their love is so much refined, and it is really different from the normal love, which is very different from dull sublunary lovers' love. That is really imperfect. And those people cannot endure separation, as their love is based on physical attraction. And here he says, they themselves know not what their love is, because it is spiritual, because it is out of humans' intellectual things. Their love is inter-assured, which is really careless about eyes, lips, and hands. That means senses. It is not dependent on the senses. Earlier we saw their love is dependent on the five senses. So again the reference to sense in this fourth line. The speaker continues to reassure his love. He's speaking, his love is capable of enduring the separation. He is again reassuring his love. He says that his love has developed certain qualities, and this love is capable of enduring separation. They are not like laity peoples. They are not like the love of laity people. It's not like that. In contrast with the sublunary lovers, their love is not based on sensual gratification. That's what the love we see around us, right? Yes. But there are love. People share those love, which is really based on spiritual, which is really connected with the souls. So that is what we see around us. People just fall in love, or maybe they'll get married and they'll get divorced. And actually Donne is saying their love is based on sensual things, but his love is not like that. His love is spiritual. Their love is so pure, so they themselves cannot define their love. Their love is so refined. They feel confident in each feelings for the other. They can endure physical separation. They don't have any problem. They can go apart. They can go apart in the absence of eyes, lips, and hands, in the absence of sense. Their love is not based on sense. They have a refined relationship of love. Their love is so beyond the physical world. And they don't know how to define their love. The lover and the speaker, or the speaker and his wife, their relationship is spiritual. It is more mentally connected than the physical connection. This means they are interior assured of the mind and do not care for eyes, lips, and hands. When they part, when he goes apart, these are not the elements. Eyes, lips, and hands, or the body is not an element that they'll miss about one another. That is not they are going to miss because they are connected. Done divides up the person into parts, we can see eyes, lips, hands that denote senses. Done divides up the body of the person into parts. We can say this, he has used synecdoche, representing the whole with just a part. He's representing the full person, he's representing the full uh, person as such, the wife, a whole with just a part. Parts are being used to represent the wholeness. He reminds us that when love is only physical, it makes the other person to an inferior status. It really makes the person into a commodity, into a product, into an item. But speaker says himself and his lover that they are interior assured of the mind. Inter assured. What do you mean by inter? Mutually or reciprocally? Or what do you mean by assured? Confident, secure, dependable. So we can say inter assured. They are mutually secured. Their love is mutually secured. Their love is will not break. Their love is really dependent on each other's soul. And the two lovers are linked by a mutual mental certainty about their love. They're not uncertain. They don't have any doubt, or they're not dubious. They are really certain. And their love is linked by soul, a mutual mental certainty about their love. They are so drawn in this manner, the separation of their bodies doesn't matter them. Love is pure, noble, and they do not know how to describe it. It is really refined. The firmness of their mind does not build up by the body. The firmness, the certainty of their mind is not dependent on the eyes, lips, and hands. If they don't have that relationship also, they are okay. But we know his life is holy, his life is spiritual, and his life is also sensual. The speaker and his lover experience a more rare, special kind of bond, very rare bond. We cannot see it around. They can't even understand it by themselves because they are linked mentally. They are linked, maybe at these times, the word love is not necessary, word love is really, um, that word love cannot convey the actual emotion. A new word should be defined, right? Their love is not on a physical basis, and it matters less. The physical things matters less to them when their bodies are apart. Our two souls, therefore, which are one, though I must go, endure not yet a breach, but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. They might have two separate two souls, therefore, but which are one, but now they act as one, the spiritual union of two spirits or union of two bodies, anything, any ideas you can give here, because their love is based on spiritual union and also based on sensual. So you can say they might have two separate souls, but now they act as one. It is due to this fact that even when they part, they are one. So when they part, They will not endure a breach. There will not be a break in the relationship, but it would expand. The break, they will not break the situation, they will not break their relationship, but instead it will expand. But an expansion, their soul will find an expansion. It is also important to take note that Dunn chose to use gold as a representative of their love. Like gold, their souls will expand like gold. Nobody has thought before, how can love be compared to gold? He recognizes the elements of his love relationship in its ability to withstand this parting. Element of his relationship. He can see the ultimate beauty of his relationship in its ability to withstand. If these lovers can withstand their parting, the love is more connected with the spirit. If two persons can be faithful in their relationship when they are apart, it means how faithful they are in their love. It is not based on the physical attraction. Am I right? Their souls are unified by love. Although a speaker has to leave to his endeavors, their souls will not be broken apart. They will expand to cover the distance between them. Their souls will expand. What are beautiful lines, right? The souls will expand to cover the distance. They are united. They will be united like that. Soul can be expanded. Can our body can be expanded? No. തിന്നിട്ട് വീർക്കണ പോലെയല്ല. A soul can be expanded beyond our sense, right? Soul can be expanded. Our soul can travel to anywhere we want. If we just imagine that we are in a, what do you say, we are going for a tour to Europe, or yeah, we are going to tour to Europe. Really, we can go by our souls. Our soul can be expanded. And he says the soul can expand to cover the distance between them because we are connected by souls. Like how it can be expanded? Like a metal expands when it is hammered. See, like a metal expands when it is hammered. Here the speaker begins to speak about the relationship between his soul and the soul of the lover. Spiritual, mystical things. It is like attempting, in fact, he is in the earlier paragraph we say in the interassured of mind, he already said that their closeness is actually the closeness of the two souls, right? So when he leaves on his journey, the soul will not tear in two. It is really flexible and that it will expand. He uses gold as a simile here, like he has used. But we cannot just say it as a simple simile. He has used far-fetched image. He has used a far-fetched image to compare. He has used, we can say this is also an example of metaphysical conceit, a comparison, a really rare comparison. The preciousness of gold suggests the preciousness of their love. Gold is very costly, right? It is very precious. We see gold as really special, and the preciousness of their love can be seen, preciousness of gold too. And the property of gold is malleability. What does it mean? It corresponds to the flexibility and expansiveness when it hammered. Gold can be made to expand greatly when it hammered into a very thin airy sheet. It can be expanded, it will not break. It can expand to a great extent, to a long way it can expand. That is what malleability means, the property of that metal. Like that, the malleability, this property to expand, corresponds to the expansiveness of their love, expansiveness of their soul. Their love will not break. The united soul will not break, but expand, and it can cover the distance between them. It will keep them bound together during their separation. He uses the words two and one in the same line, right? He uses the words two and one. If they be two, they are, no, I'm sorry, it is not. Are two souls therefore which are one? Two souls therefore which are one. He used the words two and one in the same line. It emphasizes the confusion of metaphysical poetry, the mysterious force, mysterious feature of wedded love. Marriage is not a simple thing where you proclaim, um, where you just call a lot of people, where you just showcase your new ornaments, your dress or whatever it is. It is not just showcasing, but it is a mysterious relationship too. You have to be connected with their souls, otherwise there is no point in that relationship. And see, we came to know about another line, a breach but an expansion, a split which is breaking, that is breach, but also expansion. Two paradoxical images are here in a same line. Two paradoxical or contradictory statement, we can take it here. Their souls won't break, it will expand. Yeah, gold is a really soft metal, is easy to hammer, and it can be hammered into super fine gold foil. We can make it into many shapes. But the other metals would break when you stretch or beat them. So gold always retains its oneness even across a great distance. It will not break. Their souls are one in the spirit and it is inseparable. It will endure. It will endure their separation, their souls. The comparison of true love to pure gold is quite unlike. The speaker further assures his lover that their souls are unified. Physical separation doesn't breach or break this bond. Instead, their souls expand to cover the space between them, as a soft metal is beaten to spread thinly over a bigger area like gold. So the next paragraph, if they be two, they are two so. As twin compasses are two, thy soul, the fixed foot, makes no show to move, but doth if the other do. He compares the soul of his lover to the two legs of a drafting compass. Two legs of a compass. He's comparing his soul and to the soul of his lover. He's making clear to us that they are very much connected even when they are physically apart. So earlier paragraphs we saw the souls are together, they are one. Then we saw the souls can expand, and now he's saying, according to laity people, if they are two different human beings, yes, they can have two different souls. They are two so. but they are like the legs of a compass, as stiff twin compasses are two, our souls are also two. The addressee of the poem, the wife, is that the fixed foot of the compass. Thy soul, your soul, thy, the word of reverence, thy soul, the fixed foot, makes no show to move. You are always constant. You will not move. In two compasses, we can see one is fixed. It will always remains in the center, and the other leg moves. And the speaker is that the moving leg that actually pulls the circle, that draws the circle. One leg of the compass doesn't move. The speaker points out that, but it leans because the other leg moves apart, and other leg makes it a wider circle, but the constant leg, the center point, it leans. Donne begins to draw comparisons between he and his wife to the legs of a compass. The wife is the fixed foot, meaning the one that stays planted in the center of the circle. She is not only the fixed foot, but she makes no show to move. She is completely faithful to him. That is the analogy here. She is completely faithful to him and supports him, that he moves in the to form a circle. No, the leg moves to form a circle, and it just leans towards it, to help the other leg. Like that, she is completely faithful, she is completely dependent on him and supports him in whatever he does. We know that the poem is written by Donne to his wife. Speaker admits that he and his love have two separate souls. That is what we saw. If they be two, they are two so. But he has used his most famous, the inventive metaphysical conceit here, the extended simile here. He compares the lover's two souls to the feet of a drafting compass, her soul to the fixed foot of the compass. Like the compass, their two souls are joined at the top. Like how a compass is joined, they are also joined at the top. And it also take us back to the earlier paragraph, their spiritual union. Their love is a spiritual union, interassured of the mind. In this 21st century, remember, wife is no longer staying at home and looking after the family, right? Both husband and wife is looking after the family. Both are working. This is the time science has progressed, technology has progressed. Earlier, why women were always inside the houses? Because they have their monthly um, menstruation time. They don't have much things to make sure about their hygiene. So they were always closed in their houses. We cannot just blame Donne of speaking like that. You are always in the house, like makes no show to move, the other moves around. It was the time. Science was not developed, technology was not developed at that time. So the women, due to their circumstances, they were in their houses itself. According to that age and culture, we can say he's right. And he's praising the women because of all these things, praising his lover to be faithful, praising his lover because she's faithful, she's okay to be at home waiting for him. So don't forget this world famous conceit, comparing love, comparing their souls to the legs of a compass. Donne speaks of his wife as being the fixed foot. She has the steady soul. She's so certain, her soul is so certain. It always remains grounded. It never makes a move. It always remains constant. The other leg, Donne moves around. The other do make the movements. But his wife always remain faithful, makes no show, like we can also say makes no show to move. Even if Donne is far away, she's not thinking to be unfaithful. She's always faithful. Her love will not move. Her attitude to Donne will not change. His soul will roam in his travels, right? He roams around, but she will continuously incline faithfully towards him as their souls are joined, as their souls are one, or it is joined at the top. So, I hope you understood this conceit, this metaphysical conceit. Yes, we are going to the next paragraph. And though it in the centre sit, yet when the other far doth roam, it leans and hearkens after it, and grows erect as that comes home. And though it in the centre sit, the leg of the compass which is in the centre, that means the lover, the wife at its centre. Yet when the other far do roam, the other leg, it roams in a circle like that. Donne also roams around because he is going for a departure and he is going to roam around. He's going to France or he's going to Germany at that time. It leans and hearkens after it. What is this it here? Can be the center leg. It leans towards the other leg when it was moving around. It leans to support the moving leg. It leans and hearkens after it. It just listens to it. That means it obeys it and it just goes, it leans it and grows erect as that comes home. And now it speaks about it grows erect as that comes home. We'll see what it is. Donne here engages a number of puns that suggest the completeness of the love. He uses different meanings here. The stationary compass foot sits in the center. When the other compass foot moves, the stationary foot changes its angle a little. It leans to the direction of the other compass. As she is longing to be nearer to Donne. She is longing to be nearer to Donne. She always wants his presence. Here he says, don't mourn. Just connect it with the previous stanza. Don't mourn. We are connected by our soul. And here she leans and hearkens after it. She is longing to be nearer to its partner. Earlier description we have saw about stiff twin compasses, right? In the 7th paragraph, if they be two, they are two, so as stiff twin compasses are two. It can also suggest the man's erection at the time of the intercourse. The speaker has been emphasizing the spiritual purity of their love. Love is pure for them. Sex is pure for them. Sexual relationship is pure for them. His assertion that the compass grows erect reminds us that their union is important. Their sexual union is also important. And they are satisfying spiritually and also sexually. As the foot moves and the stationary foot stands straight again. When the moving foot moves, the standing or the stationary one, it leans and hearkens towards that to support it. And when the moving foot returns to the center, returns to the other foot, the stationary foot stands straight again. You can also give these meanings to the sentence, because metaphysical poetry is really confusing. It is really obscure. We may get uncertainty. So you can give a lot of meanings to these lines. Speaker may be using pun to describe how the compass, when comes home, it leans and hearkens after it and grows erect as that comes home. A common expression for reaching the target, which might suggest sexual intercourse too when he comes home, and also the reference of erection. So we can say he may be speaking about the sexual intercourse too. And I told you the other meaning. The stationary foot stands straight again. She's complete in the sense. You can give that meaning too. The speaker's lover will be like a stationary foot and he is on his travel. The fixed position provides him with stability. The fixed position of the wife gives him stability to complete his journey. As far as the compass is concerned, the fixed position of the compass helps the moving leg to create a perfect circle. The speaker then comes back to the home after completing the duty. The other leg decides to roam into the far distance that is connected to done. The only movement that the wife makes or the stationary leg makes it of leaning, and he needs her to, she hearkens after him, she listens to him, or she supports done in his endeavors and straightens up again or grows erect when he comes home or returns to the fixed point. It leans to support the other leg, then it grows erect or it grows straight when the other leg returns to the point. Other leg returns to the fixed point. Same, you can also give the other meaning of their sexual union. The other leg describes a perfect circle, and the center leg is firmly grounded, but she will always lean, wife will always lean to his direction, just like the center leg of the compass. The firmness makes my circle just and makes me end where I begun, back at home. So this also I can tell you here that this belongs to the next paragraph, but still I can just give you a small comment on that. The other leg, when comes to the center, it, after completing its circle, like that, done after completing his work, he just come back to his home where he began his journey. No matter how far they go. Ultimately, they have to return. Ultimately, Dan will come to his home. He will return, and that moment will be the happiest moment for them. And they start their love from a point, and like a compass, they would return to the same place. They will be together, they will be united again when he is back home. And we can see the stanza is speaking about the fixed food. Earlier we saw that he went to a mission, he went apart, but he's not focusing on the things that he's doing there. He's not glorifying his things there, but he is rather focusing on the fixed food in the paragraph. And we can see the paradoxical use of language here. Though and yet is used together, and though it in the center sit, yet when the other far doth roam. Yes, isn't it paradoxical language? Though and yet is used together. Even though the fixed foot is stuck there in the center, it follows the roaming foot by leaning. The leaning is personified with the word hearkens. That we know the title of the poem itself, it is forbidding mourning at his departure, forbids the wife to mourn. And here he says that you are like that, you will always be with me, you will lean to me, you will listen to me, you will lean to me, just like a compass leans, you will lean. So it is personified here. Don's wife is longing outward toward her husband, and she's waiting for his return. Such wilt thou be to me, who must like the other foot obliquely run. Thy firmness makes my circle just, and makes me end where I begun. We can see the comparison of the two legs of compass extended till here, to the last paragraph. Thy firmness makes my circle, your firmness, your fidelity. Thy firmness makes my circle. Your firmness will help me to complete my duty, my travel, and makes me end where I begun. And I'll happily end my travel, and I'll end my travel in the place where I began the travel. I began the travel in my house, from my house, and there I will end my travel. And your firmness in love will help me to travel or to complete my circle, to complete my endeavor. So long as she is true to him, he'll be able to return to exactly the point where they left off before his journey. Only her firmness helps him to complete his duty. Otherwise, he cannot complete his duty. If they are not spiritually united, if the woman is infidel, he cannot. He cannot concentrate on his duties to complete his travel. The speaker is very much addressing his lines to his wife. Thou, such will thou be to me. Your will to be firm in our love. That firmness helps me to complete my circle just like a compass leg. She has a firmness that makes his circle just and keeps it within that correct area. No matter what he does or where he roams, she will always get him back to where he began because they are connected. The speaker's lover will be like his stationary foot. He himself travel an indirect route, maybe, that is obliquely run, oblique angle, again connects to maths, right? Metaphysical things are happening. Again, oblique, the reference of a mathematical word, oblique angle. An angle which is not a right angle. So he's also roaming around in an indirect route, and her fixed position provides him with the stability to create a perfect circle. She is fixed in that position, she is firm, she is fixed in the home, and this thing helps him to complete his circle or his travel. And in that circle, he will come back to the same place where he began, same like how a compass leg comes to the center after completing the circle. So it brings the speaker back to his lover. The firmness of the center foot makes the circle that the outer foot draws perfect. Thy firmness makes my circle just, and makes me end where I begun. She remains firm in the center, and it makes his circle perfect. And we can see a metaphor is here, right? Like thy firmness makes my circle just. Firmness, it also means firmness of the compass, the stationary thing. Foot makes the circle of the other leg into a complete one. Same like the firmness metaphor is used for the compass leg for the woman's firmness. Firmness of the woman, the love of the woman is so firm, and that makes his circle or his travel into a complete one. Everything before this paragraph, we saw many comparisons which we cannot imagine, right? And now we are coming into a lines which we can directly associate. Once again, in the line, thy firmness makes my circle just. He is praising the wife for her faithfulness. He runs, or he is in a travel who roams around, and we can say the faithfulness here or the firmness here, we can directly connect firmness to the fixed. You remember in the 7th paragraph we saw thy soul, the fixed foot. No, fixed and firmness we can connect together. So you have to cross connect. Fixed foot. It is alliteration, occurrence of the same letter f at the beginning of two adjacent words. Fixed foot. Alliteration, right? Then, of course, done means that the center foot makes a circle accurate and perfect, right? And the wife and her faithfulness will keep him from straying while he is away. He will complete his duty and he'll come back. He will be also uh, be faithful to his wife. They are firm and strong, both. He'll be back soon to where he belongs. He's also very much firm in the relationship to his wife. They started their love from a point, just like a compass, and they would return to the same place. Or we can say they started, or he started his travel from a place like a compass, and he would return to the same place. His love's fidelity and firmness will allow him to carry out his journey happily, and he will return home happily. In the final stanza, we can also see certain sexual puns also there. We can note their future or reunion of the lovers. No, they're happily united. In the spiritual terms of the compass conceit, firmness enables him to complete the circle. It is also sexually, the Donne has described their life also in sexual terms, his firmness would make her circle just. And in making the speaker end where I begun, Donne may be suggesting that the speaker will finish his journey by returning to the lover, just as he originally began his life by leaving his mother's womb. The possibility of Donne's having included these sexual puns shows richness of his language. You know how rich his language, how imaginative it is. It also suggests a vision of human love as integrating both spiritual and sexual aspects of our nature. Love is not sex, just sex. Love is both sexual and love is both spiritual. So, children, that's it for today's class. In the next class, we will just summarize the work with its themes and we'll just look into the text for the metaphysical conceits once more, as it is a very obscure poem. So, children, let's meet in the next class. Thank you. Be safe.